Hey guys, it's Laura. There's a pretty good chance that you're sitting as you're watching this video. Am I right? Many of us spend hours sitting, especially if you're in school or you work a desk job. However, our bodies are meant to move. All of this prolonged sitting is doing us more harm than good. And what we sit on and how we're sitting may be making things even worse. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the need to improve the way that we sit, and I'm going to review the QOR360 Ariel chair. For those of you who sit at a desk on a regular basis, there's a pretty good chance that you've experienced back pain at some point. I've personally experienced back pain and severe neck pain since graduating college. While the neck pain was initially caused by an injury, it took so many years to finally manage the pain, mainly because my posture standing, and especially sitting, was so flawed. I made an entire video about fixing my cervical spine that I'll link above in case you want to check that out after this video. While my neck pain is significantly better now, I've still noticed that I have a stiff back by the end of the workday. I've been in the market for a new office chair for months, several months. The chair that I currently have looks great, but it doesn't feel great, and especially working from home for the last year, it's time for an upgrade. So I've been scouring the internet looking for the best ergonomic chair, and what I found is that ergonomic chairs seem to have some pretty standard components. A few examples include a seat with adjustable height, a backrest that supports the natural curve of your spine, lumbar support, and adjustable and removable armrests. And I actually ended up choosing a chair from a Kickstarter campaign, but, well, it's not here yet. It's probably going to take a few more months, and so I've just been trying to hold out. Fast forward to a few weeks ago when QOR360 reached out and asked if I would be interested in trying out their Ariel chair. And when they reached out, they sent me two things to check out from Dr. Turner Osler, and he's the guy who created the chair. They sent me a TED Talk and a 40-page book all about passive sitting. I immediately watched the TED Talk, and I'll link that in the description below. His talk helped me realize that ergonomic chairs provide a lot of unnecessary support that may be doing more harm than good. So I responded back and I said, yes, absolutely, please let me review this chair. While I waited for the chair to arrive, I printed out the ebook, grabbed a highlighter, and got to reading. I felt like I was doing homework and I was back in school, but I wish school had felt like this when I was just super excited to learn all of the things. Shame. I would describe this ebook as paradigm shattering. This book pointed out how chairs have really become our resting posture. And we sit in so many different kinds of chairs throughout the day, and they're everywhere we go. We sit in chairs when we eat, when we work, when we drive, when we're going to appointments. They're everywhere. They've become such a huge part of our culture, and we were not built to sit in chairs all day. We were built and we're meant to move. Staying active is critical for us to stay healthy, but our culture has made us increasingly less active. And on top of that, it's become increasingly more difficult to break up periods of inactivity. And this is ultimately what we need to be doing for us to manage the ramifications that come with sitting for long periods of time. Oh my gosh, I'm sweating. I'm so worked up. I'm all excited. Can you tell? I'm a little passionate. I had a real breakthrough moment here, guys. So this is when ergonomic chairs enter the conversation, but maybe not in the way that you might think. The argument that Dr. Osler makes is that ergonomic chairs really aren't all that great. In fact, the best way to sit in an ergonomic chair is to avoid using most of the supportive features. By using these features like the armrests, the headrest, the lumbar support, we're ultimately weakening the muscles that we should be using to support ourselves sitting upright. When we add in unnecessary support, our body adapts and we slowly begin to rely on those external sources of support. So this causes us to sit passively rather than using the muscles in the way that they're meant to be used. So funny enough, I was going to try and film this video sitting in this chair, but I just couldn't get the camera angles right, and it was just a whole situation, so pardon the irony in sitting on this bed. So I got really excited and everything clicked when I saw the parallel to barefoot shoes. And if you've been around my channel long enough, you know I am a huge advocate of barefoot shoes. Why? Modern shoes, which have a ton of cushion, elevated or raised heels, and a narrow toe box, are marketed in a way that suggests that they provide support for our feet. In reality, they're reshaping and weakening our feet so that we become reliant on more support, and that just perpetuates the whole problem. And it finally clicked that this is exactly what's going on with chairs. We're making them more and more comfortable and supportive so that we have no choice but to keep sitting in them. So this is what QOR360 and the Ariel chair is trying to combat. So it has a rocking mechanism that allows the seat to move in all directions. This creates instability and forces you to use your core and actively balance as you sit. This might sound intimidating, or it might even sound like kind of a gimmicky workout, but we're actively engaging our core and balancing without thinking about it. As we shift positions, we're rebalancing subconsciously. We don't have to think about what our body needs to do. And because this type of chair requires a balanced posture, you're less likely to hunch or slouch. Before we move on, let me know what you think about this whole active chair concept in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing. So with all that said, it's finally time to talk about my personal experience with the Ariel chair. First off, setup was super easy. No tools are required, and they provide you with simple instructions to make it a very quick process. The chair is lightweight, easy to maneuver, and I do want to mention that it comes in 2 different sizes. Now the sizes are based on your actual height, and as somebody who is only 5'2", I got the shorter version. It's easy to adjust the height of the chair, and when you sit in it for the first time, it does take a second or 2 for your body to get acclimated to the instability. Not only is the seat itself really comfortable, but it's so nice to have a chair that actually moves with your body. I wanted to conduct a little experiment, and I decided to record myself sitting in the original chair that I've had in my office for the last few years versus the Ariel chair. How does it affect my posture over time? I did a time lapse to see if I could visually see a difference in my posture, and sure enough, my posture was significantly better over time in the Ariel chair. And as I've been experimenting over the last few weeks, I've noticed that my body just gets lazy sitting in a passive, regular chair. And I've been pleasantly surprised to find that my lower back is way less stiff after spending most of the workday sitting in my Ariel chair versus my old passive chair. However, I have had a humbling experience that I've learned is actually pretty common. Now, I would consider myself to be somebody who is pretty active, and I have a fairly strong core. But you know what? I found that over the first few days, I needed to take slouching breaks. And just like transitioning to barefoot shoes, I have to transition over to sitting in an active chair. After all, I've been sitting in passive chairs my entire life. I can't just flip a switch. This process will look different for everyone, and I'm happy to say that I've noticed that every day my stamina has improved. I think pretty soon I'll be at the point where I can sit in the Ariel chair the entire workday. But now is the perfect time for me to remind you to be sure to break up those long periods of inactivity. Get up and walk around, maybe do some stretches, whatever floats your boat. Your body will thank you in the long run. Something else that I want to mention is the price of the Ariel chair. The price ranges from $375 to $440 US. And I've spent such a long time looking at different ergonomic chairs, and I've just been blown away by how expensive they are. I think the price of the Ariel chair is quite reasonable. They use high quality materials, and the design is phenomenal. Also, for those of you who have kids, or maybe you work with kids, they have a specifically designed active chair for kids that you can even make yourself. They provide downloadable plans for how to build it on their website, which I will link down below. If you can't already tell, I'm really excited to be talking about this chair and the concept of active chairs. And intuitively, it makes a lot of sense. But it's both a physical and a mental adjustment that you have to be willing to make. Here's the perfect example. When my husband came home from work the day that the Ariel chair arrived, he got all excited and he wanted to try it out. So he sat down for about 5 seconds, and then he said, "I don't like it. It doesn't let me slouch." And I just looked at him and I'm like, that's the point. That's why I think it's so great. We really do live in a culture where we're used to slouching and passive sitting. Just like any change you make in your life, you have to have a strong enough reason why you want to make that change in the first place. So to be completely transparent with you, I reached back out to the QOR360 folks who originally reached out to me, and I shared my genuine feedback and excitement. If you can't tell, I'm pretty darn excited about this chair. I think they were really thrilled to hear the feedback, and they did invite me to join their affiliate program. I decided to join because this is the product that I really like, and I believe in what they're doing, and I like where the company is headed. They're a company that I feel comfortable supporting. But I do want to emphasize that this is my honest experience, and if you are interested in trying out the Ariel chair, feel free to use my affiliate link in the description down below. But by no means do you have to use it. But if you do choose to use it, I want to thank you so much because it really does support my channel and it allows me to continue investing so I can keep making better content. I've been so excited to talk about all this stuff with you guys, and I really want to hear what you think about the concept of active chairs and passive chairs and what you think of the Ariel chair. Let me know in the comments down below. But go ahead and hit the like button if you enjoyed and got something out of this video, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys!